formulate a specific question and ask it and listen for the answer. And when you get the answer, either accept it because it makes perfect sense to you, or if it doesn't yet make perfect sense to you, ask a new specific question about the trouble that the answer introduced for you. You see? But don't sit on attack indefinitely. Even though you can do this crazy thing of telling yourself that sitting on it and enduring the pain is somehow refining your soul and providing the Holy Spirit an opportunity to turn it to your advantage. God, stand up and pull the tack out. Okay. And the gentleman right here.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
My father, John, passed away about a year and a half ago. And I was wondering if you could describe some of his process and how he's doing now.
Just a moment. Well, here's a man who let out the stops, so to speak. Passing on was not transformational for him. But after it happened, he let transformation happen. There was what you would consider to be an unusual mental transition after passing on. A threshold was reached where he literally had had enough of exercising control. And for him, the time, in quotes, was right. He was ripe, R-I-P-E. And you will be surprised to find out that he is awake. Not by virtue of great spirituality, but by virtue of literally letting out a huge sigh and giving up all rights he thought he had to be an independent authorizer. He is with you almost constantly. With you, with you, with you. Not different from, not separate from, not superior to, with you. That's the end of the answer.
Thank you. Is there anything our family should do in terms of a ceremony
For
John?
no,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Okay, hands. In the back.
Hi, Raj.
Good afternoon.
Well, I had a pretty spectacularly eventful week this past week, and part of it involved my attempting to get off of antidepressant medication, and I weaned myself off very slowly, I thought, and had the full intent of standing and facing whatever it is that causes me to be depressed and move through it. And I was thinking along the lines, like an analogy, that it would be fairly big waves, but I could stand and find my balance and move through it. But what it actually felt like to me was a 30-foot wave that knocked me flat and pulled me out, and I was fighting for my life. And it was beyond my ability to handle without going back on the medication. My concern is that I would like to feel well without medication. I'll take it if I have to, but any help from you about how I might try going about doing that, I would most appreciate it. And so would the people who are around me when I am not on my medication.
First of all, you can't twist the universe's arm and make it knuckle down to your will or your intent. no matter how honorable your intent might be. Be grateful for being well with the medication, or being in balance with the medication. You also did it, you also intended to do it for financial reasons. It was a real job of leveraging you got yourself into.
That's for sure.
Which means that it wasn't inspired. You see?
Bad timing. I mean, it wasn't.
And
Yes.
totally foolish reasons. You don't ask for healing to save money. You ask for healing because it's your birthright. And you ask for your birthright to be revealed to you from within. And as it's revealed to you and healing occurs, the occasion for spending money for medication will disappear. Are you a failure because you're using medication? No. Balance is balance. Emotional balance is emotional balance. Peace is peace. And you say thank you for the crutch until you don't need the crutch any longer. Or shall I say, you say thank you for the aid until you don't need the aid any longer. If, aside from financial reasons, if, aside from being a sense of having a sense of failure because you're using medication, you listen within, knowing that it's your birthright to experience your perfection without support systems, without medication. And you ask for guidance, and you are guided to back off a little bit. Do that. But not so that you can be less of a failure, and not so that you can save money, but because it's your birthright, and you want the conscious awareness of your birthright to register with you so that there's nothing present in you calling it into question and causing you to feel vulnerable or unsafe. And you let that emerging awareness within you emerge further. Do you see what I'm saying?
I do. I had a little yes but on there.
Go ahead.
The medication, when I take it, I noticed this time when I went back on it that I can't tell if it's making me feel kind of jazzed up or if I'm just feeling like people who aren't depressed feel like, and it feels good. But I do notice that I have trouble being able to go to sleep at night. And could you help me out with that? Is that medication doing something it shouldn't be doing side effect-wise? Should I take like a half a dose of it? Half of the dose I've been on? Not for financial reasons, but just because of the side effects.
Well, the quote, jazzed up feeling, is simply a matter of feeling alive. I would encourage you to go ahead and lower the dosage, but not by half. That's too much.
I'll have to go in and get another prescription, which, as you know, it's going to cost me.
But you're worth it.
Thank you.
Remember, it's the intent of your body to identify the presence of your individuality perfectly. That is its function. It's on your side. I'm simply going to end by saying, be grateful for the medication. It is the need being met in a way that works right now.
Well, it certainly feels much better.
Yes, and it provides you with a mental equilibrium that allows you to listen better and hear better.
Thank you.
Appreciate that rather than saying, wow, I'm just believing in magic. I'm as asleep as everyone else is. You see? Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We will take a break. Okay. Hands. In the back.
Thank you, Raj.
You are welcome.
I have a question and also a statement, but the question is, about 5 years ago, my wife and I, Rachel, adopted a greyhound from a racetrack. And it's a wonderful dog, has a calm spirit, very loving dog. She's a delightful member of our family. She means an awful lot to us, and I know that we mean a lot to her. After all, it's her home. But recently, she's been limping, and I don't know if she favors one foot because either she enjoys walking on 3 feet, or maybe she has something seriously wrong with her, or maybe she just has a tender foot. I'd like your comment on that.
It is not a serious problem, but it is one to attend to simply because it's unnecessary for her not to feel fully grounded and fully empowered by her contact. And so I would encourage you to take her to a vet.
That makes sense.
and this is me, Paul, the picture is that it's in the area of the hip rather than the foot. And it may be a muscle. Anyway, that's okay.
Thank you. We'll look into that. She really means a lot to us. She's a wonderful dog. The statement is, I think, in pretty much along the lines of your opening statements today, and pretty much the theme of the evening. And I noticed that during the first our meetings, you closed it by touching the plant next to you. And I think you made a comment along the lines of that you want to encourage us. You would like for us to ask for the experience of the presence of God in each and everything around us. And you reached up and touched the plant. Is that pretty much correct?
Absolutely.
Well, when you touched the plant, it sent a shock through my system, because I remember an experience that I had, and I know that it wasn't just uniquely mine, even though it was my individual experience, but it wasn't unique like to all of us, that it's available for every one of us. And that is that it was in the summer of '97, and I was beginning my study of the healing power of herbs. And I was working with a rosemary plant. And it's kind of hard to describe because words don't seem to work very well, but I'll do my best. I became aware that I think the rosemary plant was aware that I was there. And it was aware that I was aware of that. It was an experience. It was something that I don't think the thinking part of me or a person would be able to follow. Because I was aware that that something was happening, and that the plant, I was looking at it with my eyes, but the light coming from it wasn't the kind of light that we see here in this room. It was like a personality light. Or, well, it was just the plant. And it seemed to revel in my presence. Not that I'm so great, it's just that it was like aware that I was aware, and that was important to it, and it became important to me too as well. And there was a kind of an experience of like singing a song back and forth. And next, there was like a downloading of knowledge that came all at the same time. And it wasn't like from the plant to me, or me to the plant. It was the two of us being present while that was going on. And I guess it was a spiritual experience.
You guess.
All right, to be honest with you, it was a spiritual experience. It definitely was, because a part of me wasn't the same after that, and it never has been since then. And the only reason why I'm saying this is because I know this was not necessarily unique to me. I know it's available to every one of us, and that the most lasting impression that I had of that was the joy and being in the presence of an experience that it was a total surprise to me, but yet it was very, very real. And I just want to celebrate that with everyone here. And with you, of course.
It was not only very, very real, it was real with a capital R. It is called an experience of illumination. And you have put into words beautifully what I have been expressing. Every single one of you is at all times in relationship with everything else. You didn't have an experience of being in relationship with everyone and everything. It was just the one plant.
Exactly.
But you are equally in relationship with absolutely every aspect of creation. Every blade of grass, every leaf on a tree, every branch, everything. And you're in relationship with it in the way you described the experience you had with the rosemary plant. It's more meaningful than meaningful usually means to you. And you can't escape the joy, and you can't escape the joy that the thing you're seeing truly is having as well. When I say that you are loved by every single thing you see, every day, 24 hours a day, if you would just begin to let that in, I could say it would be overwhelming, but it wouldn't be. It would be very grounding to you. It would be a fullness of experience of love that you have not had before. And it would illuminate to you, I've used the word invincibility today, your invincibility, your invulnerability, your utter safety. Because the experience conveys to you that there is nothing outside of that kind of experience of love. There simply isn't anything else that could stand in opposition. When I say that you exist in the middle of the opportunity to see reality out of the corner of your eye at any moment, and I say out of the corner of your eye because you tend to be blocked off to full frontal exposure of truth or what is real. You exist in a sea, an infinite sea of love that's loving you. But you're so darn sure that you know what everything is that you don't bring any curiosity into play. Because it's just the world, you know, and it's just, you're just going to work, and you're just having to deal with the bus driver you have to deal with every morning, and you know who he is, and you know the way he's going to behave. And you're so damn sure of it that you literally are not open to the radically different experience that's available to you with that very bus driver. Now, you all like mystery, and you all like the unusual, and so you could imagine someone down and out, living in a shack for years, poor. It's not a very clean place. It's ramshackled, run down. And the individual who lives there is not too happy an individual. And